Hello everyone, another day, another mod. I'm your host, Board Bob, and this is Factorio Modded. So I've added a little mod called Logistical Signs. Again, the link for this will be down in the doobly-doo. Basically what it is it gives you three different sizes of signs. It gives you a medium-sized wooden sign, a small-sized wooden sign, and a great big metal sign. And on the medium-sized wooden sign, you can type, and on the large metal signs you can type, and then on these small wooden signs you can basically put icons on them. And it's meant to be able to help you, I guess, identify where things are and that sort of thing within your factory build. But I thought I'd set up a little welcome for you and what have you. I don't know how much I'll use it, but I saw it there, and I thought this would be kind of a fun way to introduce it. So there it is. It's not too bad. It doesn't take too much for it, really. Some wood and some coal, and some metal and some coal, and some wood and some coal. And I'm assuming the coal is like, represents chalk or something. You're writing on it in with a burnt stick or something, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, there we go. So last time around we got our railroad set up and all the way down to our ore patch, and we got that up and running. And so I was going to set up this end of it and get the delivery system in place, and we've done that. So we've got a couple of chests that are filling coal into the engines, and we got our system taking it out. Now I only set the one up for now, but we're going to set up multiple rows. But what I did do is I set up a whole bunch of trains because I wanted a very steady flow of iron coming into our system. So what I ended up doing, I've got 10 trains total, and they're just running between the 2 points. They're running between the fill up point and the drop off point. And they're running two wagons apiece, and they're stacked up nicely here so that I'm always filling up my ore reserves. So we got that going, and like I say, we may put a few of these signals a little closer, but as you can see, we got a nice line of trains waiting to bring us more iron. We are probably going to cut back on that fairly soon because what I have allowed it to do, I've just let it run, and we're to the point now where, and we'll go up here and take a look. Our iron reserves have been essentially replenished. We are still filling this up a little bit, still filling our buffer up a little bit, but for the most part, we're right about here with our iron ore. And if we come over here and we look at our steel plate, we're full on our steel plate. We're mostly full, or we're pretty much full on our iron plate. So once once this starts to back up and we've got a full ore load again, I am going to remove some of these trains. For right now, though, I'm just going to leave them run. We're going to let them go and let them continue to fill the system. Now this other track right over here, this comes over to another station that is our train stop, our supplies train stop. So what we can do is we can set up a train here and have it go wherever we need to have it go to as we build our rails. And we'll have, we've got a bunch of chests here with stuff in them. We're going to organize this better in a little bit, but that's the plan for that. So that's got us going. Let's go down and take a look down at the other end. just to show you what we got going. We got our lasers in all the way around. We still have some lasers missing on the tracks, but we got all our lasers doing here, and this is filling nicely. I mean, we're keeping our chests pretty much completely full, and as a train comes in, it's immediately set to work filling it, and it heads right on out. And we've not had um, any hiccups with regards to blocked up tracks or traffic jams with this 2-track system, or well, 4-track system, I guess technically. Um, it's working quite nicely. I went through and I put radar along the tracks and what have you. There's a couple of places like right here where I still need some coverage, but generally speaking, we have radar coverage all the way up the track. Now, one of the things I did do, if you'll notice over here, see how this heavy woods, there was a bunch of trees there. So what I did is, and I knew this and then I forgot about it and this and that and the other, but I'm going to let you guys know. If you right click on your destruction planner, there's an option here for trees and rocks only. You can also go blacklist and tiles and tell it things that you don't want it to pick up. Like for instance, in the last series I had that R&D center that had substations down, and I was always worried about picking the substations up. If I had remembered this, I could have set the substations up as a do not pick up, and I could have set concrete as a do not pick up, and it would have left them alone. Now with this trees and rocks only setting, what is nice about this is I can take this and not have to worry about anything else. I can go over top of all my stuff, and the only thing it's going to mark is the trees and the rocks, and then the robots will go get them. So it's an easy way to clean up areas of all the nature stuff that gets in your way. Now I have looked at a couple of mods that I am in the process of considering, because I know picking this up and picking all these trees up is a lot of trees, and you know, everybody gets bulked up in their inventory. Well, there's a couple of mods I'm looking at. They're like gasification mods and things like that to turn your trees into a useful product. And that's something that you know, is doable just in general, is a gasification of wood. So you know, using that is not really gonna change things too much, so we're good to go. I don't have walkways on this track. This whole loop right here, this whole loop setup that I've got going right now is temporary anyway. Like I say, I'm going to bring this up here and we're going to make multiple drop-off points here, and we're going to do the same for copper. So we're going to set it up so that the trains don't have to sit and wait as long. I mean, there'll still be some waiting once we get everything filled up, but the plan is to make multiple stops, so that the trains can just come in, do their thing, and head out. But with it set up the way it is, you know, there's no delay in keeping this line full. It seems to be running real nice, and everybody plays well together and seems to be pretty courteous to one another, at least so far. Now we'll see down the road if I start having jams or whatever, but right now it seems to be working okay. So I swapped out all of my rail making gear, because now that we've finally got iron going again, before we get too heavy on concentrating on rails, I want to finish up our sciences. Now we still have this copper patch to kind of get rid of, and it may take some time to do it, but that's fine. But I want to start concentrating on our sciences. So what I thought we would do, The only science that we have left that we're not manufacturing is our purple science. Um, if you notice, I ran a coal line up here, and we'll figure out where to route that coal line properly once we start putting the trains in. But that's going to help us with our military science. Anyway, right now we're not manufacturing production science, purple science. We are manufacturing engines already, though, albeit not a full-size factory, but we really don't need a full-size factory right now. Down the road, when we start wanting more robots, we will put in a dedicated electric engine factory. So we need assembly machine ones, and we need electric furnaces. Now, for electric furnaces, we need brick, but we also need red circuits. So we're already making red circuits higher up on our map. We're making stone brick down here. So I'm going to route the stone brick up closer to where we're already making the red circuits, because that way I'm only running one up there. If I build it down here, I'm running red circuits down here, and then I'm running the furnaces back up there. So if I put that factory up there, the only thing I'm having to run up there is the brick. So what we're going to do is down here, because we've already got everything down here, we're going to start making our assembly machine ones down here, and then ship them up there. So we're going to stick that right in this area and get it going. We're going to leave this space for now, and then we're going to come up here, and we're going to turn this corner again, because we're getting close to that diagonal. But we're going to come up here, and we are going to set up our furnaces up here, because we already have red circuits coming across for our substations. Now, our substations, we're not using a crap ton of them, so we can pick off this same red circuit line, I think, and be okay for our science. I don't think it's going to overstress things too much. So let's go ahead and do that first. Let's pick that off, right? And then what we're going to do is we're going to find our blueprint for our multiple inputs. This one right here. And I know I had said we're going to kind of get away from using these ones because of the throughput load. But for right now, I think we're okay. You know, for this stuff. This is all science research. I don't think it's really going to kill us too much to be pulling off of this. So what we're going to do is we are going to plop that puppy down right here. Now the nice thing is we have robots. We don't have to deal with waiting around for Bob to get around to laying the stuff down individually. We can let the robots go to town. So what else do we need for our furnaces? We need 10 bricks, 10 steel plates, and 5 advanced circuits. So what I'm thinking, even though it's kind of bass-ackwards, we need an even number of stone bricks and steel plates. So let's double them up on a belt and bring the red in as its own belt. I know that seems a little odd, but you know, it is what it is. So apparently we don't have enough blue assemblers, which is okay. We can at least get started. We're gonna have to grab some long-handed inserters. So let's go over here and get some long-handed inserters in our long-handed inserter plant. And we'll pick up a stack. A stack should be plenty. Take these over and drop them off. Let the robots do their thing. Alright, so it's got that. Looks like we've got all of our inserters at this point. We just need our assemblers. Um, so let's work on our input. Oh, and you know what? I was not paying attention. Once again, don't forget the this flipper mod does sometimes mess your blueprints up if you flip things around. It misplaces your splitters and things like that. So be aware of that. And like I said before, if you use this little gear icon here and you take just your blueprint and you click on it, it'll realign the stuff and it'll fix any of those problems. Not too big a deal for this one. We're okay. So now let's bring our red circuits down here, and then we will bring our stone and our steel in as well. And like I say, I know this is kind of bass backwards because we need 10 stone and 10 steel and half as much advanced circuits, but you know, it's just going to be a little more convenient, I think, to bring this over this way. And the reason I think it's going to be a little more convenient is simply because where our iron is located and where our steel is located. If we just come over here like this, not our iron, our stone and our steel. So that brings us over half of it. If we put that there and we come down onto it there and then we come up onto it here, that gives us a split belt. That allows us to pull out steel plate, bring it over. There's half our belt. Now we just have to come down here and get our brick. And that's simply a matter of right. Fine. Setting up our belts. Right, so there's that. Now let's do something real quick. Not that it's going to make any difference because it's not producing what it needs to be, but let's go ahead and change these real quick to what they should be set to. And then we'll go ahead and tell them what we want them to be set to. Now obviously we can't tell the ones that aren't there. We are going to have to wait on those until we have more of them. But there we go. Those ones are set. We'll get it going when we get the rest of them. We just don't have enough materials on hand right now to go ahead and manufacture them. So let's go down here and deal with this brick situation. Let's go get our bricks. So we are, like I say, going to spin this down here. So what we're going to do is we will go ahead and bring that across that way, and also across this way, because when we spin this we're pivoting on this copper, so this is going to come down and around anyway. So this will allow us to bring this over and then come up, and we're going to come up probably up between here. So let's go down here and see where our stone brick is and start running up from the other direction. so that we can get them lined up properly. So there be our stone brick. So let's do this. Let's pick off of this right here after it's manufactured. And let's come up here with it. And can we reach that far? Of course we can't. So we might as well do this. Alright, so that puts us up inside of our lines. Yep. Alright. So there we go. Turn this way. We're going to have to do a few underground belts, but nothing we can't handle. Other than being close enough. Now this one will zigzag through here. There's no sense wasting an underground belt just to fit through this space. There we go. How far can we stretch it? Well, we'll put it right there, I guess. Oops. And where are we coming over from? Right there. Okay. So we gotta get up to there, which means we're pretty darn close. Let's get rid of this pole, and we'll move it out of our way. And we will come up with this. Now, we got to cross over this. We got to cross over this. We got to cross over this. There's no sense crossing over this little piece if we got to cross over this other stuff already anyway. So, we'll just plop her down right here. And we'll cross it right there. And then we'll make the jog again. And just to be safe, so that we know, so that there's no interference, we'll stay away from the end of that splitter. Now, what I'm going to do here is I am going to put my underground on my coal line. And the reason I'm doing that, oops, is because I know the coal line is going to be at least semi-temporary. So I will be picking it up later. And that being the case, we'll be able to recover that, that underground. So there we go. That should come on up here and start giving us our our electric furnaces. We'll wait for it to get up here, make sure it gets on the right line, and then we'll see where it goes from there. Looks like it's going to be okay. Yep. All right. So it looks like we're missing a few telephone poles too. So let's bust out a few Oh, we need wood. Really? I thought we had wood with us. Well, you know what? Not a problem. You guys go get me some wood. That's what she said. Giggity. Isn't that Joe Mama's signature thing? Giggity. Speaking of which, speaking of Joe Mama, he has just started a new series. He's still running his Learning Factorio series, but he is running it as excuse me, as needed. But in the interim, he has started another series, kind of based off the same idea of what we're doing here. It's going to be train based, and he's going to try out a few of the mods. He's running the Ruins mod right now, and he's running the Blueprint mod, and I believe he's running the Fusion Power Plant mod as well. So I encourage you to go check it out. We're probably, between the two of us, going to have, no probably about it, we are going to have differences in the way we do things, simply because everybody has their own personal preferences to the way they do things. So I encourage you to go check it out, because there may be some things that he does that I don't do, and vice versa, that you guys may learn from. So definitely go check it out. I'll put the link to his page in the doobly-doo, because it is a little hard to find. It's Joe Mama 1973, but if you look it up through YouTube, you get a whole bunch of Joe Mamas. So I will throw it in the doobly-doo so that you guys can go and find his page on there. So let's, alright, so now we need our assembler ones. And assembler ones also require 3 items for input. They need green circuits, they need gears, they need iron plates. Mostly they need iron plates, so we're going to put iron plates on its own, and we'll put electronic circuits, and we'll put gears on a split belt. We are going to turn this one this way, because we're going to take advantage of the fact that this line is coming down here and turning. So we're going to flip this around this way as far as our input goes. As far as our output goes, we'll leave it where it is, and we'll snake it back up through the line anyway. So I think what we're going to do is we are going to grab this out of here. We're going to open up KBM, and we're going to flip this one. Where'd it go? KBM. We're going to flip this one vertically. Alright, now as you can see, there are some misalignments, it looks like. Up in the upper corner in the output, and what have you. So if we go to this gear thing and we click on it, see how it has corrected our alignment. So that's what you want to keep in mind. That's really kind of a nice little feature. I guess it has to do with the old method of blueprinting versus the new method of blueprinting. So, you know, I think it's well worth keeping in mind. Now, here's our lights. That's our diagonal. So we're trying to stay as far over from that as we can for the sake of our track. So let's do that. Now, obviously, that's going to interfere with our coal line, but we will work that out. So Shift, right click, or left click rather, and we'll get them laying things out. What we're going to do to fix this is we are going to extend this underground belt farther. I guess we're going to have to put in 2. Alright, fine. We'll put in 2. Again, like I say, the underground belt is kind of a temporary situation anyway. So there we go. So now we'll just let these guys do their thing. Now I know we are out of assemblers, but I want to let it go ahead and throw everything else down before we walk away. Otherwise, we got our poor little robots trying to catch up with us from halfway across the map. I had one off camera that kind of slogged its way over here from when we were doing the railroads, and it was like, you know, hours later that it finally made it to us. So it looks like the only thing right now, yeah, we're missing power, which we know about, but we're missing assemblers. So let's go ahead and build ourselves some assembler, because we're going to need to anyway. So we're going to need basically green circuits, we're going to need iron plates, and we're going to need gears. So let's go right here and grab up a bunch of green circuits and gears. And then let's grab a bunch of iron plates. See how many that gets us. 17, it's a start. But we're going to need some for up top as well. So let's grab some more. I don't necessarily like to rob off of my production line like this. I would prefer to have, and I need to get around to putting it down one of these days, chests that I can supply myself from. And at this point, of course, they'll obviously be logistics chests, so that they will come around to me and supply me with what I need as I need it. It will certainly be a nice improvement over what we've got right now. Oops. I took out that pole. Let me put a pole back in there. That's the other thing I do need to eventually do, and I'll probably do it on camera to show you guys, and then do the rest of it off camera. And in fact, I think what we'll do is we'll go through right now, after I get these situated as to what they're supposed to be producing. Let's grab, do we have one maybe from when they made that stuff? No, we don't, but we can make one real quick. What we need is a copper cable. So with our copper cable in hand, and we're probably going to want more than that, I guess, because we're going to, you know what, let's make a couple of them. Because what we're going to do with this, right, is if you go to this pole, see how they're crissy-crossied here? We don't want the crissy-crossied thing. If I click on the first pole where the wire is that I want to get rid of, if I click on that pole, and then I click on the pole that it's going to, if I'm in range, it will eliminate that wire connection. I don't know if you just saw that. We're going to do it again. We'll click on this pole here. Now it attaches a wire because it thinks I'm going to run it someplace else. But if I'm attaching it to the exact same route that it's already in, rather than running it, it takes it away. And then I can just go ahead and go to the pole that I want to and straighten it out. So now we've got it, and we've got rid of this crissy-cross, you know, thing. And we can just go through our whole system and get rid of this rat's nest like this. Now, you're not getting the wire back, unfortunately. You know, you lose the wire. But at least it's allowing me to clean up this rat's nest of wiring that I have. And then we can just go back and we can connect the right ones to the right ones. And there we go. That looks so much neater. Now there's a couple of places it still needs to be done, but I just wanted to show you guys how to do that so that you guys know in the future how to take care of that. All right, so for assembler ones, we need green circuits, we need gears, and we need iron plates. We said we were going to bring the iron plates in by themselves, and we're going to bring the gears and the green circuits in as a split belt. So there's going to be our split belt. Now the thing is, this is going to wheel around on the corner of this copper. So we know this is going to go down further and that this is going to go down further in order to make that turn. Alright, so now we know it's going down further, and the reason I wanted to do that is so that we can plan for where we're going to pull this off at. Right? So we are going to go underground, oops, here to here, and that will allow us to pull our greens off here, and then we're going to go underground here, or not underground, we're going to go splitter here, and that allows us to pull our gears off. So then we can just come over with our gears and come over with our greens. Oops. Apparently I had them pointed in the wrong direction. Alright, well, we'll do it that way. There we go. So there's our gears and our greens going into our system. Now, we are obviously pulling off of the first and the second row right in this area. So we are going to want to pull off of the third row. So we'll bring this down. And then we will put in a splitter for our third row. And then bring that over somewhere. If it'll fit here, we'll do it here. If it won't fit here, yes it will. Yes it will. Well, you know what though? We probably really want to do it there, because that goes to that belt anyway. Right? Boom. So that should give us everything we need to start building our assembler ones. Now, with the exception of electricity. And now we in business. And that should start pumping out assembly machine ones. Let's go up here and put down the rest of these assembly machine twos so that we can start making our furnaces. And we need to tell it what to do. Oops. And clearly this one already has power because it's already pumping them all out. We will go through and clean up all these wires later. So now we have all of our components that we want. And you know what? This whole time, speaking of which, we're sitting here and we're not doing it. Let's research something, folks. So now we got everything we need for our purple science. Now purple science needs the engines, it needs assembly machines, and it needs electric furnaces. So it's a 3-input one. So again, we'll go back to our 3 inputs blueprint, and we'll put it down right here, and we're going to put it down like this because our stuff's going to come up from the bottom and go out the top anyway, and then go over. So there we go. Now we let this puppy go and let it do what it needs to do. Can we make some more? I think we're probably going to need some more assembly twos. at some point we will start making roboports automated. That way we can start getting coverage for a whole factory for robots. We are going to go much more in depth and much longer with this particular series. We're going to branch out and explore the world, I guess. Okay, so we are short what? 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like. Yep. And then we are also short some long-handed inserters. So let's get the long-handed inserters real quick. And how are we doing on fast inserters? We're doing good on fast inserters. So let's go over here, get our long-handed inserters placed. And then we will tell this to make Prapel Science, make us some grape juice. And then we will set the ones up that we can to make grape juice. And then once we get our inputs going, then we'll come back and worry about replacing the rest of them that we need to get replaced. But that should give us our grape juice. Alright, so now I think we need equal amounts of all three. So it really doesn't matter how we bring these in. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring, so there's our furnaces. And where are our engines? Engines are way back over here, aren't they? No, they're right down here. Alright, so we want to bring our engines up, and we want to bring our factories up. But you know what? Let's run one line rather than running two up through all of this. So let's do this. Let's come over here and come under with our engines. Right? And let's come up. Oops. Looks like we're going to have to get some more undergrounds. And under with our assemblers. And let's put them both on a belt. And we're going to come straight up with it. We'll go through our, we'll move our radar. It's not going to hurt us to move the radar that whole, you know, half an inch or whatever, depending on your screen resolution. Right? Right. Okay, so now let's get some more underground belts. The reason I waited till now to go get them was because we would be a little closer. So we're going to get 2 stacks because we go through them at twice the speed. Right? Alright, so where are we at? We're over here. So we are trying to get to here. So it looks like our best bet is going to be to just go straight up through here. Now we could turn that, or we could turn it up there. I guess it really doesn't matter where we turn it. So we'll turn it there. Get back down here and get our line hooked up. right? All right, there we go. So we'll come up on this. It comes up there, comes over there. There's that one. Right? Right. And then that just leaves this. Boom. There we go. And then we just need power, and then we'll be making grape juice. Of course it won't reach. Will that reach? That will reach. Alright, there we go. So that gets us started on them. We should start pumping them out. We're going to need 2, 4, looks like it, blue assemblers. Make sure we got our science coming out of here first. Yep, there we go. Okay, so now let's grab the stuff we need. What do we need for making those 2 assemblers, or those 4 assemblers? Basically just copper and iron, but we need gears and green. Oops, I grabbed a little bit of steel there, but that's okay. How many can we make? 10. We'll make all 10. We're going to use them. We're always going to use the blues. Well, until we swap over to the assembly 3 yellows. But for now, we are definitely going to have a use for them. So let's bring that over to our lab. And get ourselves hooked into the system. So we've already got it on this belt. Down here is where we've got it coming in at. We're going to have other stuff come in here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to plan ahead and stretch this puppy out so that we can still come in with our other ones up there. Not that we have anything but one more to come in anyway. Well, no, we have yellow and we have 2 more to come in. We're going to have an extra belt because they've only got 7 sciences and not 8. So we will have an extra belt, but that's okay. Maybe someday they'll come up with an 8th science, and we'll have to have it. But regardless, this gives us a nice setup for these. There we go. All right, so now we're making purple. All right, guys, so that's it. We got our purple going, which is all of our sciences are now being produced in the factory, not by hand, which is really nice. So let's look and see what we're going to do next time. Of course, we're going to continue to work on railroad stuff. We have all of our inserters automated. We have all of our belt stuff automated. Excuse me, we have all except for small poles automated. We've got pipes automated. We don't have pumps because we're not really using that many. We've got some of our train stuff automated, but we don't have our signals automated. We don't have our supply chests automated, our logistics chest automated yet, and we don't have roboports automated. Let's see. We don't have steam engines automated. I don't care. We don't really need them to be. Solar panels are. Mining drills are. At some point, we'll probably want to automate pump jacks. We're definitely going to want to automate blue assemblers. And then we're going to have to look at speed modules and efficiency modules at some point. We're definitely going to have to start bumping up our sulfuric acid. So, and I think pretty much most of this stuff is set up to be, oh, I don't think gates are automated. We're going to want to automate gates because we're going to use a crap ton of gates in this system. So we're going to want to automate roboports. We're going to want to automate gates. So maybe next time around, that is what we will do, is we will get the two of them automated and producing. And if we have a few moments after that, what we may do is to automate start automating our logistics chests. Wow, look at the strain that put on our iron. So we are definitely going to have to at some point add some more iron production further down the line here, although we are really kind of close to the end of where we need this this main bus to be as far as in here, because everything else that we've got going now is really kind of the end of it. I mean, we've got a bunch of little small niggly stuff that we're going to be doing, but none of it is really anything that we need huge productions of, with the exception of roboports and walls, which we're fixing to do. So once this catches up, I mean, right now the thing with it is we just put in 3 new factories, and it's got to catch up, and those factories are all gear heavy factories. So you know, it's going to take some time to get these gears back up to speed. So we'll give it a few, see where we're really stretching, or where we're really stressing for our iron and stuff. But I think we'll be okay. I think with the buffer and stuff going, it's keeping us fairly well supplied. It looks like it's not the greatest, but it works. And we'll be increasing our belts again at some point and making blue belts. So we'll have all of that. But we have a nice solid input of iron at this point, and I think we're okay with it. So that's the deal. We're going now on our iron. We're going on our railroads. So I think we're pretty happy where we're at. We'll look at automating gates and roboports next. All right, guys. You have a good day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.